everyone, Zig coming in at the top of the interview. Today I talked with the Dream Masons, Eric and Annastacia of the Dream Masons. They are playing Virtual Shows Cle Friday at 8 p.m. This was a really fun conversation. They're just a fun group. Get to learn all about the band dynamics and band roles and everything in between. Before we get to the interview, I'm going to play you a little bit of their song, Lily of the Valley. Check it out. Lily of the Valley. They got some new material coming out in June, so be on the lookout for that. So if you hear anything you like, if you could like, subscribe, comment, or even review the podcast on any of the podcast platforms, Spotify or Apple. Here we go with the Dream Masons. They're working. All right. Cool beans. Cool.
Cool beans. How's it going, dude?
Not bad. Yourselves?
Good. I like your cat.
Thanks.
We have one too.
He likes to hang out whenever I'm doing stuff. It's making work awesome. I just sit here.
Nice.
And everyone's
That's
like,
awesome.
Cool cat. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. They're going to have to meet each other.
We'll have a cat party.
Yep.
Oh, snap. He's not even seen it.
This guy doesn't mind the electric guitar at all, but he hates the acoustic for some reason. It's weird.
Isn't that weird? There's certain things that just like... that you see their ears flicker and they're like, ugh, no.
They go back.
Yeah. And they're just not into it. Like, homie here hates slide for some reason. As soon as I play slide, he's like not into it. He's like,
really?
Yeah, his technique's pretty good though. He'll start crying, then he'll hop up on my lap and get underneath everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm done.
Right.
And then he'll just hang out here which is what I was doing before you guys called. All right, let's jump into it.
You got good strategies.
Yeah,
that's fun.
The cuddle technique always works. Mm-hmm. We're doing the Zig At The Gig podcast. I'm hanging out with the Dream Masons. If you guys can introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Annastacia.
And I'm Eric.
And how's quarantine been, my friends?
We work, so it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, like still going to work or working from home?
Going to work.
Oh yeah, cool. That's awesome.
Yep. Technically, I guess they call it essential employees. So yeah, not much has changed. Still going to work for me. My schooling was online prior to this, and it's still online. So
nice.
Not much to change on that.
Our drummer won't come back to practice though, so that's sad.
Yeah. He's kind of
freaked out.
So we haven't been able to. What's that?
Freaked out by everything, or just?
He's cautious.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. There's definitely like it's a weird time. It's a weird, like, you want to do what's like necessary, but you also want to be safe too, which makes it weird to like decide what that necessary is or what that essential is. Right. What do you do for work? Do you guys work the same gig?
We're not allowed to say what we do for work, to be honest, legally. Like, we're not like agents or anything, but we're not allowed to mention our...
But you're kind of agents.
We can't mention our company online, or, on media.
It's kind of something that's abbreviated in 3 letters, and it could be FBI or it could be CIA.
That would be hysterical if we did work for the FBI and we were just in a band.
Yeah, the cover,
possible.
The Masons, the Illuminati, it's all coming clear, guys. Well, that's good.
When we got hired, we worked for the same company. When we got hired, we had to sign a thing that stated we weren't going to mention the company name on any social media. So.
Really? Whoa. That's kind of cool. It's kind of, cool that they're precautious about it, and like it's cool that you guys work for the same gig, because that makes like doing gigs easier, right?
Yep.
It does, yeah. And we can't wait to do that again.
I know. This Friday is exciting for that.
I know. Have you tuned into any of the virtual shows?
I have. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're
I've tuned. I saw the one last Friday
with Thor.
With Thor Platter, and let's see,
Claudia.
A couple weeks ago. I can't remember who was playing on it, but yeah, they're it's a good setup. I like it.
Yeah, what Gall's doing is really cool. It's a really cool thing how they pick and choose who's doing it and how it's all dependent on.
Yeah, it's super awesome. I'm just excited to be able to be part of a show again.
That and being away from it for so long makes it so exciting and so nerve-wracking because you're just waiting, right? You know what I mean? There's no like prep other than what you've prepped already because you guys done some streamage through the quarantine.
Yeah, it was really hard, to be honest. It was really weird for me.
The first one was there. It was definitely a learning experience. The first live stream we did. I think the next one that we host is going to be smoother.
The lack of feedback was really hard to play for. Like, it's just, I don't know. I know I shouldn't have felt like this, but I felt really silly almost, like playing nobody in my house and being like, that was really odd. I know there wasn't nobody there. I know people were watching, but just to play into an empty room was very strange. Like, and
the virtual applauses, you know.
Yeah, it's so bizarre because it's taking away that it's even though you in your mind you're like, I'm doing this as a thing to express myself. This means something. You know what I mean? This connection, this acceptance of what you've just done. And you work your whole life to make that a normal thing as a musician, right? And then as soon as that's taken away, it's so weird. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, you're getting interaction, but like it's so either distance because of it's just a little blob, it's just a little thing, or the delay of it. So you may say like, oh, I like peanut butter, and someone sends you a peanut butter emoji. Like 2 minutes later, and you're like, "What's going on?" Or like,
yeah, that was weird.
Like, and it's delayed.
It kind of reminded me of like playing I mean, you're playing for people, you know, however many people are watching us, but it still has the feeling of playing like an actual live gig in an empty room, you know, because that's happened like in my previous bands that I've been in, like 10 years ago. I played the empty rooms, embarrassing enough, but yeah, that's happened. And I remember that feeling, and I'm like, oh, this live streaming is kind of feels like that because no one's clapping, and you know. Back
when we played wineries, we would have to play for like one or two people for the first half hour or something, and those were always like, I don't want to say mean things, but I freaking hate it. I hate it, and I don't want to do it anymore. I hate it. I don't like cover shows. It's not my hat. It's not my type of thing. It's not my thing. Like, I prefer, I mean, I'll do it if we really need money or whatever, but oh my gosh.
I agree. It's like I was talking to Ray Flanagan about this, and I bring this up a lot because he brought up a good point. When you're doing that type of gig, a bar gig, a wine gig, a gig where you're part of the just the atmosphere of the room, you know what I mean? You can be playing and killing it and doing amazing, but you start to feel smaller and smaller and smaller because less people start to interact, and you just start to become this background noise. And Ray pointed out that that's a good thing in his mind because if you weren't sounding good, everyone would notice.
Right.
True.
And I'm like, True. And like, it's just the name of the game. It sucks because you go from like an original gig where everyone's in it, you know what I mean? And you're just like, everyone's riding that wave with you. And then you go to like that bar gig where you're playing for 4 hours, and like every like 30 minutes you get that one guy that's like, woo, now do Freebird. And you're like,
right.
And you start
like the same songs over and over. I don't understand how these people want to hear these songs for the past 40 years. Just keep wanting to hear these same songs. Like, why?
Yeah. Well, some of them stand up, you know, some of them are good tunes, and like, and part of it I think is like they don't know what else to ask you, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like, I was talking to, actually last time I was talking to Dan Wilson. Did you catch that virtual show? It was a live stream one. And
no, I didn't.
We were kind of going down like how like the study of music is in a big sense like the study of culture, no matter like what type of music you're diving into, right? So even if you're diving into rock music, you're diving into rock culture, and like so if you think about like someone that means so much to certain people, why do they mean that much? Like, why does Jimi Hendrix matter? Because he was this huge cultural movement and he changed everything by going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Right.
if you are
And there's a lot of context.
yeah, there's a lot. That's the
Man,
thing.
I wish they would ask us to play Hendrix. People, you just are like, can you play the Egg song by Jewel? Like, no, not
Oh
talking
yeah,
about that.
you get a lot of
I
that.
get a lot of people asking me to play Jewel all day. No, I'm not singing your scrambled egg song or whatever she's talking about. I don't know.
There's another one too that they request for me. It's Jewel and
What? Why?
I've heard that one a couple times, but that's not a big deal for me. I don't mind some
Fleetwood Mac.
Also,
yeah.
everyone says that I sound
Occasionally.
like Haley Williams, but I don't think I do. They just don't know any other girl like rock band artists, so they just always say Haley Williams. Our music does not sound emo or
Yeah.
at all.
It might just be like you have dyed hair and you're a female singer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. People find things in their mind to relate things to, and they're comforted by that. So, like, if I see someone who sounds a little bit nasally when they sing, and my nasally go-to like archetype is Amy Winehouse, I'm gonna say you sound like Amy Winehouse, and,
Right.
you know. And it's weird when you're doing the bar scene. You find that like weird archetype thrown upon you, and I imagine as a female singer you get that way more than some other people. Like, oh, you sound just like Janice. Do I sound really like scratchy, or or is it
Right.
just like I sound like a girl that's singing? And like
Right. Yeah, that's a lot.
so
I will say people say sometimes I sound like Gwen Stefani, and I think with some of the choices I make, I could see that one.
yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. You're gonna get influences, and same like it might stick out more for a guitar player. It's like, dude, nice Stevie tone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah, very true.
or if you play any type of like acoustic thing, I get like certain references, or you know, or if you have a 12
But, like-
string, they're gonna ask you to play that one song that has a 12 string that everyone knows, and it's just part of like the culture you've walked into, you know. And
Yeah, very true. And I think what you said about like maybe that's the only song they can like think of or something
Yeah.
at the time. Like I can relate to that because when people ask me to play songs, or when I'm trying to think, or when someone asks me like what songs do you know, and I'm like, I don't know any songs. I can't think of any right now. You know?
Right.
You know? Like I mean, I have a list in my phone of everything
Yeah.
I know, but I have to look at that because if I'm like on the spot, I mean, I don't remember any of them for some reason. I don't know if that's just me or if that's like a thing. But
it's
in terms of like covers, I mean, originals are different, but
yeah, I think it's definitely a thing. Even like the illusion that choice gives, right? So you've learned all these songs, you've built up this category or this catalog of songs. You've expanded from the 3 songs you started with to like the 30 songs you know now, and then you have it's almost. I remember seeing a SciShow episode on like how too much choice almost is anxiety provoking and overwhelming, where if you have like 3 choices, people are going to pick certain things more often than others. And even like in the grand scheme of big choices, so out of 30 songs, someone's going to pick the one that they know, you know what I mean? Like if it's ice cream flavors, it's going to go between vanilla and chocolate and strawberry more so than Superman and all the others, even though I would say Superman's probably better. But you know what I mean? It's all just like, it's all relative, I guess. And so in some ways it's having someone point out like that same thing over. It's just kind of what they interpret it as. And like, even though it's weird and like, especially in bars and depending where you're at and depending on the type of person, you know, saying it, it's a different context for sure.
yeah.
My favorite ice cream that I have had recently is Mitchell's, and it was lavender honey.
Ooh, that one sounds good.
Mitchell's is great.
Mitch,
I had some purple ice cream there before, and it was amazing. It was like raspberry or something, or blueberry ice cream. I don't know.
Is Mitchell's essential?
it should be.
Should be. Yeah, if it's not, we need to.
We need to
make it
fix that
special.
quick. Have you gone to the one in Cleveland, Ohio City, where they got
Yeah,
like,
that's the one.
the little factory there, and you're like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say little, it's a giant factory.
Yeah, so
So cool. It's like
yeah.
little Willy Wonka's ice cream. Like, I don't know. You just see all the little workers back there.
and they're just doing their thing, like with this giant like chemicals, and they're like, sweet ice cream.
And there's just like 5 people staring at them like they're a zoo animal.
Yeah, they're just watching like a kid eating ice cream, like, just like, yeah, kid, I know. I wish I was you.
I wonder if they get to taste the ice cream.
They have to, right? There's got to be some crazy flavor
I would hope
guy.
so.
Man, there was this like big scandal a while ago on cable. I don't remember. When I lived with my parents, I saw these ads for it. It was like, what percentage of Baskin Robbins employees has diabetes? Like they were like, it was like this like expose type documentary on Baskin Robbins being linked to diabetes and our sugar obsessed culture. It's really weird.
That's a true statement for sure. We are very sugar obsessed, and like that would not be surprising because the amount of ice cream they have to take home has to be absurd. Like, you know, they're taking home pints every night. What happened to this one? Oh, it's bent on the top. Like
right. Defects. Yeah.
But wow. So going back to kind of what you said before, you played in a couple other bands. What were some other bands you played in before? Because you guys did Hey Violet, right?
Yeah.
Before
we just changed
Dream Masons.
It was mainly the same band, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have Philip anymore.
Yeah, we started this as Hello Violet, and we realized that there was another band out there called Hey Violet,
Right.
and we kind of wanted to differentiate from that, so we changed the name. But prior to that, I was in a couple other bands that...
You were in Them and I. Look Them and I up, everybody. That's a great band.
Them and I? Yeah.
Them and I love it. They're on Spotify. Fucking love that band.
It's John Bellis's thing. Do you know John Bellis?
I don't. Who's he play with now? Why can't I think?
The Elephants.
The Elephants? Not H and Elephant, but The Elephants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to check him out.
He's really, really talented. He's very
He is. He's
amazing.
a good dude.
Like, he's super efficient. And, like, John Bellis gets as much done in a day as most people do in, like, a month. He's, like, really... he's high functioning, like, just really efficient as a human.
That's awesome.
He probably uses whiteboards.
I think he does.
I use whiteboards. I can't get through the day without it.
Eric's
sometimes.
been campaigning for the whiteboard people for like years.
Yeah, I'm gonna get sponsored by Expo. Dry erase markers.
That's awesome. If you do, I'm gonna be hitting you up. I use a lot of those for teaching. Okay, let's talk about expos for a second because they're great because you can write on anything and wipe it off, arguably, right? So, like, when we play shows, I'll bring an expo and just, like, write all the merch prices on the table we set it on.
Oh, nice.
And wipe that off when we're done.
I like that.
Like,
works? I didn't know that works.
Yeah. For certain, like, when I'm teaching, I'll write on the desk. I'll be like, okay, here we go. Like, as opposed to, like, they make it right in front of them type deal.
Right.
Expos are great. Let's make this happen. Let's have bands sponsored by Expo. I can't.
That's amazing. That would be really funny. We should do it.
Yep, and they smell good.
Yeah.
Send them this podcast. Can you send them this?
I'm not over here hopping the expos, but when I was in like 5th and 6th grade, whenever the teacher would send me up to the board to do a math problem, whatever, I would kind of like get just because I liked the smell. You know, I wasn't like trying to get high off of it.
I think they smell like freaking fish or something.
I enjoy that smell. I don't know. I'm weird with smells like that.
He'll like he'll get mail in the mail and like.
Or like a brand new book. It's like the pages smell.
Yeah, but everybody smells books. You smell weird shit. Like,
Dave, do you smell books?
When I get a new book and I crack it open, I do enjoy the smell, especially if it's like different books got different smells, right? Like old books, you got that old book smell. You got that wisdom, the scent of wisdom. And then when you get like a comic book or like a book with like a lot of like ink, there's that smell that's on it. And you're like, what? This is like, it's weird.
Yeah. Or those like glossy pages or whatever.
Yeah.
Different, yeah.
No, Eric smells like a lot of stuff. What else did you smell? Like
I don't know, everything.
Smell a letter like, yep, this is from Arkansas. You smell that Arkansas in air.
One time I think you smelled a brand new rubber spatula.
Yeah, and electronics products like.
Oh yeah, he smells his when he first gets his pedals and. Like,
because they have this like.
it's really weird. He'll just smell stuff off it.
like a new car smell. Like you want to.
Yeah. There's definitely
that smells good.
a new product smell for sure. Like
there is a new product smell though. It's like I don't know how to describe that, but I enjoy it.
maybe it's always there. It's just like you get so used to that thing being there, you don't smell it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that new car always smells like the new car. You're just used to that car now, or that car becomes more smelly of you. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Dude, my car smells like whatever because I eat my dinner in there and I forget about it. And my car first it smells good. I'll wake up and be like sausage, and then like 2 days later I'm like, oh fuck, something's rotting in my car.
Rotting sausage.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's the Chipotle from 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I do eat a lot of meals behind wheels. Like when I was before the quarantine thing, when I was teaching at the school, I would eat a lot from driving from one thing to the next. So I get to eat into the car a bit. It's efficient. Mm-hmm. You're there, you're doing it, knocking two things out.
Yeah, right. It's an art, especially you're driving with your knee kind of deal. You're eating some food.
Horrible. He eats full on like cereal and milk in the car.
On my way to work, I'm eating oatmeal.
It's like the hardest thing to eat in the car.
Anything with a bowl or a utensil is definitely tricky.
He'll eat like fucking steak in the car with a knife and a fork and just be like, I got this, like cut him full on meal.
And my car is stick shift, so
oh snap, that's crazy. That's insane.
I know, it's so bad. He's like, everyone's gonna hate you for being a bad driver.
But honestly, okay, so once you're on the highway and
you're pretty good. You're not shifting too much.
You don't have to shift, so you're good at that point.
You just gotta hold that bowl of cereal until then.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell about the time you hit the car and then we had to run?
No. Come on. No, I don't want to talk about that.
All right, that's fine. We don't have to know about it, but it sounds awesome.
It was really fun.
So were you in another band before that?
Oh,
and were you in another band?
I was in an emo alternative band called Consequence of Decadence.
Whoa, that sounds emo and alternative for sure. Were you guys in the same area, both out of Cleveland playing?
We played, my first show was in Lakewood, but mainly I played around the Elyria area at like Jim's Coffee House, which is now Blank Slate.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know if you've heard of Blank Slate.
Yeah, Blank Slate's awesome. My friend Eddie, who I was running a mic night at the Coffee Bean, which was down the street from CSU, and he was the barista. And then he kept talking about how he was going to start his own venue, and then lo and behold, he did his own venue. And
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's such a cool what they're doing, and the fact they're going to make it into a coffee shop.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Yeah,
is so cool, and
it's so funny. They've not them particularly, but the previous owners spent so much time and energy like ripping out the seating and the coffee equipment and the espresso machine and like all of your typical coffee house features, and now these poor kids have to go back and like put it all back.
Yeah. But it's going to be cooler. Like, that is like the DIY venue of DIY venues. You know what I mean? That's like the Grand Opry of DIY venues, or the Carnegie Hall of, you know what I mean? It's such like, it's got a stage, it's got a sound system. It's exactly what you envision a DIY place to be, but it ends up being, in real life, it's someone's basement. You know what I mean? Or it's a house with like a kind of a door and a lot of spray paint and like, I don't know.
Like Plymouth House?
Plymouth House is kind of cool because they got like a little bit of a stage, right? They got that face thing, or is that the other house?
Plymouth House is in Huff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the basement. I mean, there's a stage.
Did you guys recently play there?
Awesome.
We played there last year, or not last year. We played there years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I loved that venue. It was so fun. I want to go back there. I love their crowd. I love the rowdiness and like just how close everybody was to you. It got super hot, but I loved it. Like it was one of the most fun shows I've ever played.
Yeah, DIY shows are awesome.
It's like that's kind of the the juxtaposition of it. You're like, there's this beautiful crowd in this beautiful moment shared in this basement, in this dingy basement, right? So the dinginess and the dark and like the half working door and the spray paint everywhere and like the stacks of beer cans and like the weird stuff that's off-putting, but then there's this love that's found there and this appreciation for what you're doing that you won't find anywhere else. And that's why like venues like that are so important. And like people that do that are so vital to like the music scene. And like by the time you realize how important one is, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's like, so sad. You're right though.
When you try, I don't know if you guys, how often have you guys hit the road? Have you did some touring?
Yeah, we went to New York. We did Brooklyn.
Where'd you play in New York?
Brooklyn and Harlem. We played at the Sylvana in Harlem, and we played at the. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called.
Was
the
it
Legion?
Yeah. So Sylvana and Legion, those two venues we played in New York City, which is awesome. And then we went to Nashville.
We went to Denver.
Played a couple shows down there. Denver as well.
Mercury.
Denver's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Denver is so fun. I want to go back. Like that's my favorite city ever. The cops there are so chill. It's super fun. Like,
whoa, what happened with the cops? How'd they get involved?
Because they're just cool as fuck. They saw our state license plates. We were driving around in this like sand park thing. Like, it was like outside dunes, but not like a desert.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? It was like a campground with all of the sand and stuff. And then the cop shows up and he's like, hey, I noticed you guys are from out of town. Let me show you guys where the locals like to jump off the cliff over there.
Oh, yeah. What?
Yeah.
That guy wasn't like undercover.
No, he was just
that sounds
chill.
Super rad.
He was like, let me show you around. And he just drove us around and showed us where we could go cliff diving. And it was so
awesome.
fun.
Into like a reservoir, quarry thing. Yeah, it was cool.
That's cool.
And they were nice. And downtown Denver's amazing. There's a lot of musicians hanging out.
16th
Street jamming. Yeah, 16th Street
is so
cool. The
cool.
whole vibe of that area is really cool.
And everybody's very talkative. So for someone like me, I feel really at home. Like everybody's super talkative. At first, I thought, like, okay, this is going to be a little sexist, but I thought they were just trying to hit on me, like some of them. But then I just realized they're just talkative, like the girls are too. They're just a talkative people. This random guy walked up to me and was like, man, someone just rear-ended me. And I was like, thinking in my head, why is he like...
Where's this going to go? Like, what kind of pickup line is this?
Yeah.
Because that's crazy. But
so I was like, that's crazy, dude. And he's like, I know, right? And he just walks away. It was so weird. Like, they're just really talkative. Like
they're more friendly and open to strangers than we are over here, I guess. That's my impression of it a little bit. Not to say that we're not.
Yeah. No, especially
friendly.
The whole reason we're talking now is how how Ohio's music scene takes care of itself. You know what I mean? Like these gigs, this really cool nonprofit thing that Gauze started is like amazing. So like, there's something special here. But that's I thought that was gonna be some weird pickup line. I was rear-ended, but like I don't know.
Yeah, like we were in the gas station. People were just talking to me. It took me a minute to drop my defenses because I kept just being weirded out by like, why are you talking to me? Or one girl came up to me and was like, well, I hope you have a really great day. And I was like, wow, what a bitch. Like, she's so sarcastic and mean. But no, she was just being really nice. Like,
I hope you have a great day too.
She was just like,
you're welcome.
I forget, was it our server or something? I don't know, she gave us her coffee and we told her thanks for the meal and she's like, well, you guys have a really great day. Just like that. And I was like, what a condescending prick. But no, I'm just the prick.
Oh, that's awesome though. Like there's such a learning from just going somewhere else and experiencing other people. Like even if it's in the States. It's so like, I don't know, there's travel just leads to like self-reflection in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun. I like Nashville. You could smoke inside Nashville, so that was weird.
Like
There's
cigarettes?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
I was so weirded out by it.
Yeah, they haven't caught up to that yet.
People really do have bigger hair and bigger shoes. Like girls have a lot more
Poof.
volume in their hair, I noticed, than we do up here.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna do some more touring when quarantine's up.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. Yeah.
I can't wait. I want to go back to
I feel it. It's so exciting.
We were supposed to go to Chicago.
I don't mind the road at all. I enjoy it.
Likewise. Was it right before this all went down, this Sunday before the lockdown, we played in New York. We played at Arlene's Grocery, Sea Level. And like,
Nice.
yeah, it was sick. It was an awesome gig, and like, it went really well. And like, but what I was going to point out, like, a lot of these first times you go out, the only gigs you can get are DIY gigs. You know what I mean? The like the house venues, which are sick because you meet the people and meet the scene, and like, and then you can work your way up. Like Arlene's was kind of like a grog shop type venue, but when I went out there the first time, I went with Michelle Gall actually, and we played like.
Nice.
We did 4 days and we played 7 shows, and all of them were like these DIYs, like small shows and like little
How
spots.
Did you guys get paid
cool.
well from those?
Some of them, and then some no. And two of them were mic nights, but that were leads from other spots.
We did that in Denver.
And like,
Yeah.
it was just like, it was insane. It was like, and it's weird. Some of the DIY venues pay you better than the venues.
Really?
Right.
You know, yeah.
We never played DIY when we toured because my theory was I didn't want to end up with not enough money to get back home.
Yeah.
So I strictly stuck to like venues that could give us
At least some sort of guarantee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
But
a good
those are
call,
harder
too.
to book. If we were booking more shows, we definitely would have done some DIYs.
And I guess
But,
it also
those connections that you make,
yeah.
like you know, with the people that you meet and whatnot, that's like just as good as money itself in some
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, really. I mean, we definitely did not get to meet the community as much in Harlem, which
Was it Harlem's an interesting I play
Brooklyn people were more receptive. We hung out in Brooklyn, but that we have band rules. Rule
Yeah.
number 5 is always party with the locals.
Wait, you got band rules? Hold the phone. Let's start with rule number 1.
Okay,
Dream Mason band rules. Rule number 1, go.
Okay, this is gonna sound funny because everyone misinterprets this rule because I'm a girl, but I don't mean internally. I just mean don't get anybody pregnant on the road or at home. And I'm not talking about myself.
Rule number 1.
That's
Rule number 1.
Yep.
Don't get anybody knocked up on the road or off the road. Because if you get someone knocked up, then we cannot do what we need to do
have
as
to take a
bands.
9-month break.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There's
Rule number 2.
rule number 2.
Yeah, or if you're on the road and you get someone knocked up, then you gotta leave and go take care of your kid. Like, don't do it. No knocking people up.
That's a solid rule of thumb. I think other bands could apply that method. So, what's rule number 2? That's amazing.
So rule number 2 is respect your hands.
Respect your what?
Respect your hands.
Okay, yeah.
Eric used to do like extreme sports, and I
Like
told him
what?
this is not allowed because he got.
Yeah, no.
Can you
So
see?
I broke
I don't know.
I broke my wrist. There's
Whoa.
a big plate in my wrist.
And his
Whoa, I can't
bone
really tell
popped out of his arm, and he has this giant scar.
What extreme sport was that?
It was snowboarding. And I still love snowboarding. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
You know,
man.
I just don't. While keeping rule number 2 in mind, I just don't hit the terrain park or anything like that. I just cruise at this point.
And this is hysterical because like Kessel is our bassist, and he
Yeah.
loves to punch cement because he thinks it makes his hands stronger. He's so strange. Like
Oh
he's
man,
like-
I wish he was
he's
here. I
like
want to hear
Kramer.
about that.
yeah, he just will be like, guys, you want to see me punch some concrete? We'll be like, no, stop.
You need to play bass, dude. You're gonna break your knuckles.
He's like, no, man, my hands are so strong. Like, let me show you right now. He'll get so hyped up.
So that's why we have that rule. And that's number 2. What do you got? Do you know the rest?
Yeah, rule number 3.
Hold on. Okay. So, how long did it take the recoup from that wipeout? Like, was this while you're playing music, or is this pre?
No. I was in like 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
So it was a long time ago. I mean, I was learning guitar then,
Gotcha.
but I definitely wasn't in a band of any sort. But I think that was like I was hung up for like 4 or 5 months at least. It was about 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, to get a plate like that, but I mean, when you're younger like that, I guess you can adapt and heal up quicker. But okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rule number 3. I'm glad it wasn't while you're playing, because that would drive me crazy. I know.
Oh yeah, that would drive
I'd be
me nuts.
losing my
He's
mind.
supposed to get it removed, but it'll be like a 6-month recovery time. So he just left
3
it
to
in.
6.
Yeah.
He just left it in there because we don't want to. Actually, now would have been the perfect time to take it out during.
Yeah, I
quarantine,
guess.
but-
You know, but you don't want to go by a hospital now to like.
True.
Can you guys take out my metal? And they're like, what?
Right.
Wait. But okay, rule number 3.
Rule number 3 is always record everything. Like
Fair.
at practice-
That's solid rule.
Yeah, because we will be just like on a lot of drugs and have hanging out in the middle of the night, like at 5 a.m. and taking lots of LSD, and then write this epic masterpiece, and then no one recorded it. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, even if you're just dicking off or if it's a serious practice. Record everything always.
Absolutely.
Always record everything. So we kind of just have like a recorder running for all of our hangouts now that just like catches everything. Oh, also I have to state, Kessel does not do drugs. He has a child, so just wanted to throw that out there for anybody
Gotcha.
listening. Kessel does not do drugs.
Kessel is clean.
Kessel's clean.
He just punches walls.
Yeah, it's cement. Apparently.
Oh man, that's awesome. So bringing us to rule number 4.
Well, that's the lost rule. I forgot what it is.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
And then
It's
5 was.
5 is always party with the locals.
And then is there 6?
Nope.
Nope.
That's just- I want to write more of them, but I feel like I should try to figure out what 4 was first.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
if we think about it, we'll remember it. We'll let you know. I'll send you a message and let you know if we remember what that was.
That'd be
It would be like no religion or politics in band.
fair enough.
Or debate. It was like something like debating or it was something along those lines, I think.
Because we all have really different political views. Like Jack is Democrat, Eric's Republican, I'm Libertarian, Kessel's Libertarian. So Kessel and I are both Libertarian, but it just
Yeah.
can create chaos.
For sure, definitely. And like when you're trying to be creative and doing a creative endeavor, it's best to kind of just accept everyone's view and try to hear everybody. You know what I mean? As opposed to like kind of pick
That's
a
more
side.
what it's about than it getting crazy.
Yeah.
It has in the past though.
Yeah, but
You and the drummer, not our current drummer, but you and the
yes, and we learned, you know.
Yeah, I
But
guess
yes,
heated.
it messes up the creative thing. It's just weird.
Because that's not what we're here for. You
Yeah.
know? None of us are writing policy.
For sure, writing tunes, writing
Right.
trying to find a music word with P. Right, but but yeah, and like I don't know, I feel like if it's easier to like kind of pick a side as opposed to hear somebody, and it's almost a work to like detach yourself from a side and just hear someone's point, and I think that's important, and I think the more we can be like that and hear each other, the actual debate begins, as opposed to just being like, well, wait a minute, you like the guy with the other guy, and that doesn't follow rule number 1, and like
Right.
True, very true.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. And like I think bipartisan type stuff. I think I can't wait until our generation is in more control of things, because clearly people don't know how to work together right now. The people who are
yeah,
in
for
control.
sure, definitely, and like
I can
was-
agree with that.
say what
I agree with that, 100%.
notion noted. But yeah, I do agree, and like I think especially like I work with younger kids, and I just see like how much of the world they absorb through this thing we're using right here, and like how like you know what I mean, like when I was 5, I never knew about that there was people in other places, you know what I mean, like I was
Right.
worried
You're worried
about
about having fun and like going playing baseball or skateboarding or something, you know? Or,
yeah,
like,
why are we out of Teddy Grahams? How did the box get empty? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
simple things, yeah.
and like, so even just having the mindset that there is more out there and that they're doing the same thing you are to some degree, and like, or being able to see that, and like, everyone's going to be much more, I feel like, willing to hear and have an ability to hear and act upon certain things, and like have different insights and reach different heights than we can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have a younger brother who's quite younger, and I remember a couple years ago, like watching him play out with his friends. I think they were like probably like 6 to 9 or something.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show how much they absorb. Like they didn't know what the words meant, but they were running around. Mind you, these are all white kids. They were like, "You're racist. You're sexist. You're racist. You're sexist." Like they just knew that those words were negative. They didn't know what they meant, and they were just running around chasing each other, calling each other racist and sexist. Like it was really funny.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I would have recorded that.
That's awesome. Yeah, but that's the other thing. Rhetoric's going to be different for kids that can hear it and like hear different things, and like it's gonna. I think I like looking for rose tinted glasses and believing everyone's going to be like exponentially where they are and everything's going to get better. But that's kind of
society does get better though.
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like we used to have freaking slavery and
for sure. Like for sure,
gay people weren't even allowed to get married 10 years ago. Or you know what I mean? Like I do think society does get better maybe not as quickly as we would like, but if you consider like the freaking medieval times and now society and people
much
and
more
acceptance, we're way more
definitely
nice.
And that's the beauty of it, and hopefully I don't know, it'll be what it is. But it's as a teacher I get excited. I'm like, the little people, they're going to know more. Yes, you must learn more. We're getting old and tired. We want to take naps. You want to change the world. So those band rules are awesome. Did they just come out of nowhere, or did someone get someone pregnant, or did someone not party with the locals? Like, was there something that brought upon
yes,
these?
there's little scenarios like that. So, for example,
that's so awesome.
Like,
not that they probably caused bad things, but
no one necessarily like got anyone pregnant, but our bassists have always had children, and that's kind of, and until the kids got a little older, like that would have been a really problematic, you know, having a baby. Our first bassist had an 11-year-old, so that was fine.
Yeah.
But we were like, okay, don't get no more other children. Like, let's just stop for a little, like while we're trying to tour and do stuff and spend money on equipment, like so you don't have to have the guilt of being like, oh, I shouldn't buy this because I have a mouth to feed and stuff. For sure, and there's a balance between that. So okay, so it's not just a bit; they've come from things. Yeah, these rules Party
were.
With the locals. Every time Eric and I have partied with the locals, something fucking epic happens. Like we get another connection. Like when we hung out with the locals in Denver, that's how we ended up getting our Brooklyn gig.
Gotcha.
That's how we got ins at those venues.
Because we
from Denver, which is weird, and they got the guitar string endorsement from that as well.
What's that?
A guitar string endorsement?
Yeah, what endorsement did you get?
Augustine strings.
Sweet.
Augustine strings.
I hear those sound better than most strings in strings. And they're notorious for their high E's never breaking.
Have you really heard that?
No, I'm just trying to hype it up.
Yeah.
See if we can get a sponsor too.
I really ruined that pitch right there.
You mean like, yeah, they're true. This podcast brought to you by Expo and Augustine Strings. If you need a string and you need it to be colored for a slight amount of time, those are your two sponsors.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
White Christmas. Is that where that Hello Violet thing comes from?
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Yes. How'd you know?
What a guy.
He's the first person in the world to know that.
First person.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's so cool. How'd you know that?
The quote, Nardwar, you're the Dream Masons. We have to know.
What?
You guys don't know who Nardwar the Human Serviette is?
No.
Oh, man. I just saved your quarantine. Like, look up Nardwar. Go down his YouTube rabbit hole. He's an interviewer, and he just blows minds.
How do you spell that?
Nauard. Naurud. I can't remember how to let me. Hold on. I got a DVD here. It's WARD. NUWNUD.
How did he know that?
Well, right now I don't know how to spell,
Yeah,
so
it was
it doesn't
good.
matter.
Hello,
I'll put a pin in that.
Violet.
I'll pull it up
Hello,
later.
Violet.
So, well, Sea Level did a bunch of things like that. We would pull stuff from old like horror flicks and like use them in little videos. And I don't know. I like old black and white movies on Twilight Zones,
Yeah.
and you know.
Billings and Alone, buddy old pal.
Oh, buddy, old pal. You want the moon?
Seriously though, that's a great movie. It's
Classic.
That's my favorite movie, actually.
Amazing. Yeah, I would. So good.
So
Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from?
when did the paths cross? So we've kind of, I'm trying to paint a narrative where I've been so distracted because you guys are awesome. But like, you're both playing in different bands. When did you guys meet and form Hello Violet? Or was there
So actually we ran into each other a couple times before Eric kind of insisted that we play music together. The first time I met Eric, I was playing with Taylor Sabo at Quaker Steak, actually, in Vermilion during a cover gig. And
Yeah.
I actually met Eric, and he played a song with us, jumped in. But I didn't see him again for like...
That was in 2010, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't, that was 10 years ago.
Isn't that
But I
crazy?
didn't see him again for years until I was like 21. And great, now I'm showing my age. Ugh. I'm older than I look. Don't tell anybody though. So I was recording my first EP, my solo EP, or what's it called? I don't even remember. Better Late Than Never at Mohawk Studios in Sandusky.
Yeah.
And Eric was there jamming, and I had heard a lot about an Eric Hellinger who could kill it in the scene. So I just went up to talk to him, and then I actually didn't, like, I had no intentions of, making a band or anything. I was really interested in acting at the time, and I just wanted to finish my EP. But then I ran into Eric again at a bar. I was playing pool, or he was playing pool. I don't remember.
Train station.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, he insisted that we meet up after that point. So
Yeah, at that point, the third time seeing each other, we were like, all right, we should probably jam.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah. So yeah, we kind of like met in 2010, and then 2015 ran into you at the studio, and then at the bar, and then we just kind of like
yeah,
went from there.
Cool.
and like
Started writing.
yeah, we wrote one of our songs the first day we hung out. That's out now. Which one was that? Love's Not Dead.
All or Nothing.
I don't know.
Love's Not Dead.
One of the songs. We wrote one song the very first time we hung out, though. That was dope.
That's cool. That's definitely like when you musically can click and something comes from it right away. Because it seems like a lot of times it's like one person brings one thing to the table. They're like, I wrote the song, and then everyone else kind of hops on. But when you can
Right.
do it together, there's like that magic that you're like, this is the partner, the writing team supreme I needed. So that's really
Speaking
cool.
Speaking of All or Nothing, that song just hit 300,000 hits today on Spotify.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo-hoo, I'm so
And you
excited.
guys, that video is pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. It was fun.
Did the story of the video kind of fall from the story of the song, or was it kind of you guys wrote the song and then like made the story to it? Because that's a cool narrative.
Well, definitely we wrote the song first, and then we were like, I don't know why, but I was like, I just want a door in my music video. Like, that'd be cool. Like, I just want a door. Like, wouldn't that be neat?
Yeah, the dreaded door.
It was a horrible decision. Do not put a door in your music video. It's terrible.
You put a door in your music video. Just learn how to build an A-frame thing so the door can stand up on
We
its
took
own.
parts.
Oh my god!
It was horrible to try to get this door
Yeah.
like, in all the different locations that we wanted it.
Yeah, it turned out to be a big hassle.
We
but
thought it was going to
Especially
be
like in the water.
cheap.
in the water was ridiculous.
We
Yeah,
had
Yeah.
like 7 people back there, some people under the water, like holding it up in the water.
Yeah.
yeah, because even if you have the frame in the water, it starts to get soggy and it starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
Oh. But we got it done. It was. We needed a lot of help for that, but it was cool.
That was a fun experience. We got sun poisoning that day.
Is that
It was overcast, so we didn't
Yeah.
expect we'd get sun poisoning, but we did.
That's
And then like, what else? So my buddy Ann Ressler was the one who kind of explained the symbolism behind the door, because I was like, Ann, I want a door in my video, but I don't like know what it means or why. And Ann is so smart. She was like, doors are very significant symbolically because they can take you to other places, but they can also lock you inside.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, she's so smart. That's a great idea. And I just kind of went with it because, like, that whole song is just, I mean, it's obviously, like, referencing suicide and just self-loathing and all that stuff. And I just think at the end, like, this girl is running from the door, right?
Yeah.
Like, at first she maybe toys with the idea of it and she goes through the door, but then towards the end she's running from it.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the music video, she's locked in some dark realm inside the door. So that, and I guess it's just like the contrast between all or nothing, like the song, and she ends up in nothing, and you know, whatever. It's not a very positive song,
but still the symbolism's there, and that's like that's, I don't know, it was really well done. Is that kind of where did you get to get some of those acting chops out during that process?
I actually have had people say that was really bad acting, so like critics have been like, oh, that was a terrible job, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I probably did a terrible job. So I don't think I did a very great job acting in that particular video, but maybe in the future. I mean, I've done other things that I have had people have said were really, really great, and then some things like that people said were terrible. So who knows?
Was it? I didn't think it was bad. Was it? I think to act in front, like the mindset to get into that has to be like not an easy one, especially when you're playing two roles, right? You're not just playing the part of this character in this video. You're also playing the singer of the band. And you're probably part of the whole narrative of the whole production, right? So, right, it's a lot to put on. Like, it's gotta look good. Everything's gotta line up.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you're totally right. I remember for some of those scenes, you had to get like mad.
Yeah, and I was really scared of the glass breaking and hurting me, so I would like recoil a lot because I was like throwing shit, and then it would bounce back, and
you wrecked that apartment, like, for sure.
Yeah,
it was tore up.
Whoever's place that was, like, there's some paint for sure still there, unless that was Expo.
Wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was paint.
Why did we use Expo? It was paint.
I got children's washable paint, but it did take me. Oh wait, are you talking about the writing on the window?
No, there's a part where you're like writing on a wall, like, or
yeah, that was.
Or maybe it's a window. I don't know.
No, there was writing on the window, but you were smearing the wall.
Yeah, smearing.
Yeah.
No, that actually was Expo, and even though it did come out of the mirror and the window, it left a trace of. I can't explain.
That had to be an off-brand Expo. Expo never leaves a trace. With that chiseled tip, come on.
Yeah, it like left a weird. I scrubbed my windows so many times, and I could still, in the right light, see the writing.
And now that they come with primary color packs, how can you not see the lighting?
You are gonna get a sponsorship from
My Expo, that'd be so sick. Sorry.
That's funny.
But did you go to school for acting too, or is this just a thing?
I did. I went to Howard, the Beck Center for the Arts in Lakewood as a child.
Okay, cool.
And I went to Howard School of Acting in Coventry, which is an amazing school.
Yeah, I've been past that so many times, and I wonder how they do. I've never seen anyone come in or out of that building, but that's always like when I'm there for a grog shop gig. So I don't think learning happens at those hours.
Yeah, they practice. I mean, I think almost every day of the week they have something or other going on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to Claudia Miller, and we were talking about how acting and music kind of plays together. Like when you're performing, you're kind of doing this part. Like if you're doing a winery gig, you are this background entertainment that is invasive, but not too invasive. You take on these characters and you play these parts to some degree, even though you're playing yourself. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to a friend of mine who was studying the Meisner method. Did you ever?
Oh yeah, that's a great method.
And like I always thought that was like an intriguing headspace to get in. The repetitiveness, always like looking into it, the repetitiveness kind of threw me. I was like, wait, what are they doing? But after kind of like, I don't know, after getting explained it, I'm like, oh, that's really cool actually. Like, but okay, that's cool. Now, so you guys meet up, you start Hello Violet, and then it eventually becomes the Dream Masons. And you guys, it sounds like you've gone through a couple member change-ups.
Yeah.
And a couple sponsors, mostly from Expo.
Yeah.
But so now you guys have a solid foundation. Sorry, it's a solid lineup that's been rolling.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't been able to play any shows.
But aside from the quarantine shutdown, like
Right, yeah.
the lineup's tight.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's
we're so excited.
any future projects coming out here that we should plug?
June we got a song coming out, and then hopefully as soon as possible we have a music video coming out.
Yeah.
Yes, we're releasing another single in June, a music video, which is awesome. I can't wait for people to see that. I'm super stoked about that. And
Any doors?
What's that?
No doors?
No doors.
No doors, absolutely not.
we destroyed that door when we.
The door, yeah. The door is completely destroyed. But
There's a bonfire after
so we
that.
got a single, music video, and then a couple more singles to release.
Okay. Is this
over the course of this year? So we have a lot of stuff in the pipe.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good to have things in the pipe.
And the next, so when's the single coming out again?
June. I don't
June?
know what day though.
Okay.
Early June. We haven't set a date yet.
We're waiting on
Gotcha.
our artist to get our art back. Our artist is dope. I
Who do
freaking
you
love
use?
him.
Who's your artist?
Blake Connolly, and he is from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he is incredible. Check out his Instagram. It's called Bloke Blake, and he has amazing stuff on there. He does textile stuff too. Like he has some shoes on there. That are dope.
Super cool.
He's just so good. It's cool because like I like to. Once I find something that works for me, I don't know. Like with Eric, I would consider just super compatible with what I write and like one of the best around for me to write with. And then it took me a while, but I finally found this artist where I like have an artist in the back pocket. I can use him for anything I want. And, same thing with logos. Who's our logo guy? I forget his name.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember his name, but he's from
That was a long time
Chicago,
ago.
but
Gotcha.
he does a really great job on logos.
Well, I think with any, like, as far as even members within the band, you got to have, like, a certain chemistry and, like, mindset and ability to work. And that can be, like, even dysfunctional to some. Like, the Ramones, they never got along, but there's something that works. There's something creatively, and, like, there's that level where people work. And if you can find that person, you want to hang on to that relationship in any way that you can. And
Right.
that expands beyond like the core unit of the band, right? That expands to like the production guy, the guy maybe you work with who records, or the guy who mixes. Some people do it all. Or
Noah
like,
Heyman is who we record with, and I would consider him the best around for us.
and even those people, you learn to work with them, and they learn to work with you. And like the beauty is, not everyone is for everybody, so we need everyone that's out there doing it. You know what I mean? Like the guys that record you are going to maybe not work for the guys that record me, and whatever. Your logo guy is not going to work for me. And it's a beauty, this like network you make from trying to do even just a single, right? One song, which takes forever to write and record, and then to get everything into it. It's such a production when it comes down to it, and it takes literally a team of people. Or like, if you're crazy and you can knock it all and you're like, I don't know, the prince of whatever, like, and you can just do everything on your own. But for the most part, it's a team, and you build these beautiful relationships along the way.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. All right, so there's some stuff happening, even though stuff shut down. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear it, man. And then we got you guys Friday, 8 p.m., Virtual Shows Cle with Scenic Route. Who else is playing?
Josh.
Joshua Robert. Last night
Sorry to put you on the spot, but I don't know who it is either, so that's why.
No, it's Joshua Robert, but last night I was trying to make a promo video, and I kept saying Joshua Rabbit.
How many takes did you do on that?
Like 7,000. Hysterical.
That's
It took me
awesome.
like...
It turned out great, though. I hope people get to see your promo.
I can't wait.
So-
Now that I don't have Wi-Fi where I live.
Yeah.
Also, so like the way I act when I'm with Eric is so different when I have to be on the spot by myself. Like, I'm not. This is gonna sound weird because I'm the front man of a band, but I hate to be like I don't like talking about myself.
Yeah.
And I don't like being alone in certain circumstances. And I don't know. I just don't like when, like, okay, Michelle asked me to make a little promo video for the show, and I like hated it. I couldn't do it. just having the camera on me, even though now I know there's the camera on me.
Yeah, like, but no one's watching. It's just us talking. You know what I mean? And like, I totally understand that. It's weird when you're like, when you're supposed to front a thing and you have your homies backing you up, right? There's like this unity, that whole relationship you guys like built up to put out this thing, to push this thing. There's a team effort to push, you know, whatever it is. But when it's stripped down to just you and like you don't got that check and balance guy, like my bass player is like, he'll be like, dude, you need to say this, I need to say that. And if I'm not saying this or that, he'll cut in and be like, and then we got this and that, you know what I mean? And like, so there's that backup. And as soon as that's gone, like, either you've prepared mentally enough for it, or it just falls out right, or it doesn't. But there's more of that like fear that you can fuck it up when you're by yourself. So I totally get it. Like,
I just hated the way I looked. I hated the way I sounded. I had to put a mask on because I didn't want to see my face. So I was wearing a mask during my promo video.
Yeah, I know you feel that way a lot sometimes before we're doing a video or something, but no matter what, it always turns out super great.
We were
mask or no mask.
We were featured for the short sweet film show that they do. I think every few months they do it at
oh, that's cool.
It's Emergent Cinema. They do it down in a brewery. Forest City Brewery.
Cool.
They have this whole show going on, and show all the short film or sometimes music videos. So one of our videos was featured, actually one of mine for my solo project. And after the end, they make you stand up there and like answer questions
Q&A.
from people. And I seriously was like, like, just like, I didn't want to be up there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, can you stop looking at me? Like, it's so weird. But if you put a mic in my hand, I'm different. But then between songs, Eric used to be so irritated that I wasn't like talking to people or engaging with people. I hate it. I don't like doing it. I'm there to play music. I don't want to talk to people. I don't like to. And
I've kind of grown to care a little bit less about that. Like, just like, because each band has their own vibe. If you don't want to be really personable on stage or anything like that, you know, we could just go boom, 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 right, song to song, and
Pixies
the music's good. People, you know, that's totally cool.
And it's frustrating too because like, okay, remember back when everybody was like, I forget what music group it was, but right after quarantine, Facebook had a new Cleveland music group. I think it was called like Confident Cleveland Musicians or something like that.
I don't remember. The one where everyone was talking to each other and everyone had to like tag everyone into it, kind of?
I don't really remember, but I was seeing it a lot, and people were saying, "Hi, my name is so and so. I do this music, blah blah blah," and I watched those, but I just never could bring myself to write one about me or the Dream Masons, because part of me thinks, who's going to read this, you know?
Yeah.
Or I just don't want to talk about myself and seem like, not that I think that about those people who promoted themselves at all, but for some reason when it's me doing it, I'm like, oh, it's going to seem so like big-headed and like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just weird. And I don't have internet also, so part of me is worried that like people are going to think I'm snobby in the scene because I don't really engage much, but it's just really because I'm very shy and I also don't have internet, so it's hard to do.
Fair enough.
It's hard to do what I do.
And like, I think to some degree everyone kind of can relate to that. Like, it's cool that you can disengage like that and just kind of escape it. I don't know if everyone can relate to that, but like, there's definitely that thing where if I say this and put this out there, am I going to be looked at in one of 9 ways? And then you start to like eat up in your head what you're doing, and like then when it comes down to it, everyone's thinking about what they're doing, and then I don't know, it's just an endless thing, and like there's no right or wrong answer to it, but it's totally at least I can understand kind of where you're coming from, like as far as like it is I don't know, to put yourself out there, and even just to sing in front of people is putting yourself out there to some degree. That's such like some people like that's the biggest thing. They think that's the most vulnerable spot to be when you're singing in front of a group, because there's such like a social like archetype of what a good singer is and what a good song is, and like to do anything, like you're going against this like thing inside your mind and everyone else's that may or may not exist, and like I don't know. So I understand that sucks.
Yeah, it's rough. Someday I'll have internet. I kind of like not having it.
Fair enough. That's cool. And if someone else is running the band page
at this point, I wouldn't be able to do that.
I bought a Sega.
Hell yeah.
That's what I do since I don't have internet.
This fucking, I'm gonna beat Sonic 3. Fucking Knuckles. This is bullshit. Well, cool, guys.
It did really isolate me during the first few weeks of quarantine, though.
For
having no
sure.
internet and like no one to talk to or go see. It was like I meditated a lot. I learned a really interesting like mantra chanting. I learned Omne Padme Hum, which is just like the long version of Om.
What was it?
So I learned to meditate. That was dope. You trick face if you meditate right. Like you really you get like a buzz from it. It's super cool. So I did a lot of meditating the first week, and then I got a job right away at this company.
That's like A and B right quick. Now, Eric, were you working at the company before you got the job? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, cool. Wow, where'd that chant come from? Is it something you found out of a book or someone?
I don't remember what religion it is. It might be Hindu or maybe Buddhist. But I learned it from Ram Dass.
Okay.
Baba Ram Dass.
Yeah.
The Taoism thing, isn't it?
No. Technically, no.
It's like a kirtan where you like, Ram Dass does a lot of, oh no, Ram Dass, he's not the kirtan guy. I'm thinking of Krishna Das. Ram Dass, he wrote all those books, and
Be Here Now.
Yeah, that was like his big one. And I think that what platform, Netflix or Hulu, one of them had a really interesting documentary on him, like in his later years. Yeah,
like I started meditating a long time ago, like 2 years ago, I think, a year and a half actually, and I hated it because I didn't want to be one of those white girls who's all into Eastern religion. Like I don't want to be one of those girls.
I got my latte and I brought my mala. Oh.
Like yin and yang. I'm so zen right now. But I ended up loving Taoism, and I became a Taoist, and just started following certain teachings that really, truly, honest, 100% to God changed my life. And
that's awesome.
I know. It's
I was
super
talking
dope.
to Zach Friedoff, who does a bunch of he runs a bunch of programs in Akron that are peace programs, and he does a lot of yoga and a lot of yoga classes, and he's made a few kirtan albums, which is singing chants, and then it's call and response for ever, and I don't know, he's got some cool points about it. So if you're looking for some local stuff like that, I would recommend checking out Zach's stuff.
Nice. What's his last name?
I just blanked right now. I just said it. I'll send you the link. Why can't I'm getting quarantine brain, y'all. I just keep thinking on things. Friedoff. There it is. And it's weird. I'll just be mid-sentence and just be like, what was I thinking about? Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about 6 other things. Well, cool, guys. Well, hey, this was a lot of fun. You guys had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see you guys at the virtual show, and hopefully when this is all. You guys reached out to Sea Level to do a thing at what was it Stella's? We were supposed to do something.
Coda.
And I remember we had May was going to be sick for Sea Level. We were going to do 3 benefit shows throughout the whole month, one every weekend. And one of them was on the date you hit me up for, I remember. And but other than that, when this all blows over, let's do a show for real.
Yeah, we should. I remember that it was kind of short notice when I hit you up too. It was only a couple weeks out as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should definitely do that. That would be great.
Yeah, it's so fun. I'm so happy that Cleveland doesn't have a really competitive, nasty music scene. We have a really hangout, friendly music scene.
Definitely, and that's why this virtual show thing exists. Is everyone's supporting each other? Sure, there's going to be things and whatever pops up. People, he said, she said, but for the most part, I think everyone's got heart here, and everyone's looking out for the best interest of everything, which is really, really cool. And
Yep.
I think you guys, I know you've tuned in, Eric, but like, I think you guys are really going to enjoy Virtual Shows Cle, and it was an amazing experience for myself, and like, it's cool. You guys are going to dig.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't watched those is because I don't have Wi-Fi. So just
Well, yeah, you're in the clear. You don't have internet, so you're fine.
I feel bad. I can try to use my phone, but it really sucks. It sucks up all my data if I try to do certain. So usually I save it for like bitching on Facebook.
Cool beans. Well, all right, friends. Well, thanks for hanging.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for having us.